Dear July. In theory, there are people watching these videos, and I hope they don't mind that I've been more personal lately than bookish. Someone once told me I'm good at talking about vulnerable things, but I'm not very good at actually being vulnerable, and I'm trying to work on that. I know how to tell a well-crafted story of my life, some of the worst moments in my life. It's part of what makes me a good organizer. I can tell the story of being 19 and realizing the YouTubers I was talking to online and trying to learn from weren't trying to be my friends. I thought they respected me, the things that I made, and my contributions to the community, but these men in their 30s were apparently flirting with me. Well, no, not flirting with me, grooming me, just like they were doing to a bunch of other teenage girls. I was heartbroken to find out that these men that I looked up to and respected as fellow creatives didn't see me that way. We could share the same interests, professions, and they would espouse the same values and beliefs as me, but they didn't mean it. God, why didn't they mean any of it? When that happened, I decided to make my communities, both on and offline, safe. I started working and organizing around bodily autonomy and consent because I want to be safe. I want the people I love to be safe. I want the people I don't know to be safe. I wanted to stop creepy predators from taking advantage of our communities, especially the young women I knew. And it's a good story. It's a true story. It works well with white women in their 30s and older. It's a story about a vulnerable time in my life and a vulnerable subject matter with room to expand or shrink, but I don't feel vulnerable telling that story anymore. I don't tell that story to build emotional intimacy or because I trust the person I'm telling it to. I'm telling it to the whole internet right now, and I went through it very publicly in 2014. It's just a thing that happened to me, and it's a story I learned to tell about myself. In 2014, I was groomed by a 30-year-old man who would wizard rock when I was 19. I was lucky that all we did was send a few messages, reply to each other on Twitter or in Facebook comments, and exchange a few Facebook pokes. It could have been worse. It was worse for a lot of people. I have told that story dozens of times, all while feeling nothing. I have practiced that story. I know how to add detail or when to cut back so it doesn't hurt me when I'm telling it. But in May, I slipped up, and I told this story to a friend of mine when I didn't mean to. I told this story to someone I care about and who I know cares about me because they asked me about a project I had worked on that was tangentially related, and before I knew it, the whole story came out. I cried a little bit after telling them, which was embarrassing. They don't know that I cried because I waited until I was alone to do that, but I have not been able to stop thinking about that story since I slipped up by telling it to my friend. I used to go months without thinking about the story, even while I was actively telling the story. I only bring it up as a way to move people into taking action, to build better policies to keep our communities safe. I tell the story now because I want to get better at being vulnerable. I spent my entire life minimizing and intellectualizing my trauma. I know that I've experienced several traumatic events in my life. I tell the stories, I make jokes about them. I let people I barely know into my life by telling these stories about vulnerable topics with the hope to build empathy and move them into action so we can build better things so other people don't have to go through this. I never really let them into my life. I never let anyone get too close or see something that I don't want them to see. I edit these videos, and we all have this agreement and understanding that I control what happens here. But I should maybe let go of some of that control in my day-to-day life. I need to learn how to process my trauma and feel my emotions, because only solving the problems that are giving me the emotions and then pretending I'm okay with what happened because everything worked out so I can share a prepackaged story with a stranger isn't actually helping me heal from the trauma. Yeah. I'm sorry if this has all been too personal. I don't have a better story to tell right now, though.